reporting to the cloud right now. Wonderful. Okay. As always, let's start by finding a comfortable seat today. So remembering that this can be many different things in your body. Just take a moment to become grounded. If it's comfortable to sit with your legs folded like mine, you're welcome to do so. If not, of course, sit on a pillow, sit with one or both legs up. What's most important is just to find a good, comfortable position for you. Once you've found that space, bring your hands to your heart and close your eyes. And just begin to gently deepen and lengthen your breath. Give yourself a little more space for all that air. Now, as you breathe, we add movement. So on your next inhale, roll your spine out nice and long, sit tall on your mat, and then exhale to soften, melt a little bit. Inhaling, lifting, rising, lengthening, and exhaling to soften. On your next exhale, release your hands down by your sides, and on your inhale, sweep your fingertips out to the sides, up to the sky. Exhale, hands down through heart center. So this is the movement, inhaling to open and exhaling. And then, of course, there's a visualization to go with it. So as you're inhaling, visualize yourself gathering up all that abundant sunlight and just drawing it down into your body. Now from here, you can stay in these sun breaths. If this is feeding you and your body, you stay right here. If you'd like to, you're also welcome to begin to expand into free-form movement here. So if you notice that it would feel good to change this pattern or this movement in any way, feel free to do so, to begin to shift and adjust and change things. And then nice and gently and gradually begin to find your way back to seated. Once more, draw your hands to heart center. Take a moment right here to set your intention for your practice this morning. And then once that intention has been set, release your hands down, sweep your feet around behind you, and make your way into tabletop. So in tabletop, of course, our wrists are beneath our shoulders, knees are under the hips, and from here, let's find a little cat-cow. So we just open up into cat-cow, breathing, inhaling, rolling the heart open, and exhaling to coil. And inhaling to open. Now, one of the fun things you can do in cat-cow is actually add a visualization here. So when you inhale, visualize yourself inhaling through the palms of your hands, drawing up on some of that earth energy and radiating the heart out, filling with light. Then exhale and draw all of that energy into your core. So inhaling, drawing up from the earth, shining the heart. And exhaling, feeding the fires of the belly. Now, as always in this space, you can stay here in cat-cow flow. You're also welcome to begin to explore some free-form movement. You can do circles with your hips or rib cage. You can shift from side to side, forward and back, whatever would feel better in your body. And then from here, we're going to come back to a neutral spine in tabletop. Draw your knees a little closer together underneath your hips so that they're centered and stable. On your inhale, extend your right leg long behind you. Lower your toe down to the mat and begin to press into your right heel to stretch out the back of your leg. And then lower that right knee down. Let's feel that on the left side. Inhale, extend the left leg long. Lower your toe and begin to press into that left heel, getting a nice deep calf stretch. Whew, it's okay with y'all if we stay here for 15 minutes, right? And then lower your left knee back down to the mat. Now from here, we're going to meet in forward fold. So you can walk your hands back to stand. You can also step your feet forward. And once you've found that fold, I'd like you to just soften. Try to completely relax here. Relax your head and your neck. Let your arms dangle. Just let your spine pour over your legs. If it would feel good, you can find some movement. Rocking from side to side can sometimes feel really nice here. And then come to stillness if you happen to be in motion. Bend your knees. Exhale, roll your way all the way up to standing. Inhale, rise and open. And exhale, draw your hands down to heart center. Release your hands down by your sides, and if you're not already there, make your way toward the top of your mat to set up your first mountain pose of class. And as always, our mountain pose should be so stable. We want our feet a hip's distance apart. In most human bodies, that is a fist and a half to 2 fists distance in width. Like mine's right about a fist and a half. And really what you want is your toes lined up with those bony parts at the front of your hips. Like this is the line. So we want to feel stable here. Root down into your feet. Bring your hands to your belly. Give your belly some love. And then find that space just beneath your navel and draw your abdominals in slightly. You'll feel your tailbone lengthen in response. There's more space across your lower back. Roll your shoulders back and down and let your palms face forward. And we're going to come back to a visualization here. So what I'd like you to experience on your inhale, imagine breathing up from the soles of the feet. And exhaling. Any fatigue, any stress. Inhaling, breathing energy up from the earth. And we'll add those sun breath arms in again. Inhale, sweep your hands to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. 2 more times, gathering up all that energy. And on this next exhale, we're going to fold forward, bowing, surrendering over the legs. Bend your knees. Plant your fingertips on a set of blocks or onto the mat. And on your inhale, step your right foot back to lunge. Let's start with that back knee down. So we're going to set up our opening flowing lunge. As always, we want the left knee directly over the left ankle. If you're using blocks, you can frame that left shin with them. And if you're not, just bring your fingertips down to that point. Inhale to look forward. And on your exhale, let your hips draw you back. Begin to stretch out the back of your left leg. Your left toes might come off the mat a little bit. Inhale forward and melt your right hip toward the earth. And then exhale back. Inhaling forward. Let your next inhale bring you all the way forward to lunge. Bring your knees beneath your hips, finding tabletop once more. And let's feel some cat-cow or freeform breaths. If you're in cat-cow, come back to that visualization. Inhale, draw up from the earth. Exhale, coil energy into your belly. And then from here, we're going to come back to a neutral spine. Walk your hands forward, one hand span, and shift your shoulders over your wrists. Now let's set up a strong half plank here. So we want the knees, hips, and shoulders in one long line, which means that's going to be a different alignment for all of us. Once you've found your line, draw your navel in so we feel that nice strong core. Press the earth away. Let your collarbones shine forward a little bit here. So try to look forward, bend your elbows, and float your way down to the mat. Walk your toes back once you've landed. Let's start with fingertips wide. They can come out to either side and off the mat. Begin to roll one shoulder and then the other. Finding creative cobra. Maybe breaking up any little points of tension in your shoulder blades and just experiencing some really beautiful range of motion here. Return your hands to beneath your shoulders and press back. Tabletop, or if you have one in your practice and you'd like to feel it, you can press all the way back to downward facing dog here. Now, wherever you've landed, find movement. So if you're in tabletop, you can find cat-cow or freeform movement. If you're in down dog with me, walk out your dog. Pedal one foot and then the other. And then find your way into stillness. On your inhale, look forward. Exhale to step your right foot forward between your hands. And if that back knee's lifted, go ahead and lower it down. So we're going to set up lunge with that right leg forward. Once again, we want to make sure the right knee is directly over the right ankle. And if you're a little far back, like if you're experiencing your knee tucked back, or your ankle tucked back, just grab that foot and bring it forward. Remember, if you're using blocks, you can bring them to either side of that right shin. Otherwise, just plant your fingertips there. Inhale to look forward. Exhale, shift back. Inhaling forward to lunge. And exhale, shifting back. And remember, maybe your right toes start to come off the mat a little bit. It's totally okay. Let your next inhale bring you forward to lunge. Turn your left toes under to lift your back knee and look forward. Exhale, step together and fold. Soften over your legs. Rock from side to side if that would feel good. Turn your head from side to side. Relax your jaw. And then come back to center, to stillness. Bend your knees. Exhale, roll your way all the way up to standing. Inhale, rise and open. Exhale, hands to heart center. Check in with your mountain pose. So if you need to reset, go ahead and do so. And then we're going to find 3 sun breaths. On your inhale, sweep your fingertips to the sky, gathering energy. Exhale, hands through. 2 more times. And on this exhale, bow forward. This time, inhale, halfway rise. Hands come to the shins or to the thighs. Roll your shoulders back and down and really let your collarbones shine forward. Exhale to soften. Inhale. Inhaling, opening across the heart, the shoulders. And this time on your exhale, both hands come down to the mat. Inhale, step your left foot back to lunge. Lower that left knee all the way down. So let's take our flowing lunge a little bit deeper this time. We want to get a deeper stretch into the back of the right leg. So we'll set up the same lunge. Fingertips or blocks are framing that right shin. Inhale to look forward. This time on your exhale, as you shift back, let those right toes rise. Sink back a little further. You can walk your hands back too if that would help. Inhale forward to lunge. Melt your left hip toward the mat. And exhale, shifting back. Right toes rise. Let your next inhale bring you all the way forward to lunge. Bring your knees beneath your hips, finding tabletop first, and then walking your hands forward. Shoulders coming over the wrists. Find your half plank. If you feel like generating a little more heat this morning, you can turn your toes under and lift your knees for full plank. The process is basically the same. We want a strong core. We want to press the earth away, and then bend your elbows, and with control, make your way down to the mat. Once you've touched down, walk your toes back. Draw your fingertips to beneath your shoulders. So we're going to do a little bit of work with low cobra here. What I'd like you to do first is lengthen your neck by looking at the mat. Then roll your shoulders all the way up, together, back and down. As you lift your heart and shine it forward, exhale down to the mat. Inhale, big circle with the shoulders, shine that breastbone. Exhale. One more time. And exhale. Turn your toes under, press back. Tabletop or downward facing dog, your choice. And find a little movement wherever you happen to have landed. Come to stillness. Inhale to look forward. Exhale to step your left foot forward between your hands, and then lower your right knee all the way down to the mat. So we're going to set up that same lunge, going a little deeper on the left side. So we want to make sure that left knee is directly over the left ankle. Frame your legs. So we bring our hands or our blocks to either side of that left shin. Excuse me, too much coffee. Inhale to look forward. Exhale, shift back. Begin to straighten out that leg. Left toes can rise this time. Get a little deeper. Inhaling forward to lunge. And exhaling, shifting back. Let your next inhale bring you all the way forward to lunge. Turn your right toes under to lift your back knee. Look forward and step together and fold. Again, finding softness and surrender right here in this space. Relax your head and your neck. Let the crown of your head dangle. And then come to stillness. If you're in motion, bend your knees. Exhale, roll your way all the way up to standing. Inhale, rise and open. Exhale, hands to heart center. Check in with your mountain pose. Reset if you need to. And then we find 3 sun breaths. Inhale. Exhale, drawing that light down into your heart. And on this exhale, we fold all the way forward. Bend your knees, plant your fingertips. Inhale to step your right foot back to lunge and lower that right knee down. Now this time we're going to walk our hands up the left knee. All right, so we're going to keep working our sun breaths from here. On your inhale, sweep your fingertips forward and up. Exhaling, opening out. Stretching across the chest. Inhale, gathering energy. Exhaling, integrating. And on this exhale, both hands come down to the mat, knees together. We're going to leave our hips high as we walk our hands forward, melting our hearts toward the mat. Now, as always here in puppy dog pose, there are options. If this is too much on your shoulders, bend your elbows and let your forearms onto the mat. If not, of course, you can leave your forearms up and your arms fully extended. There's a little pulse here to get a little more motion in the lower back. On your exhale, scoop your belly in. Inhale, soften your heart toward the mat, feeling all of that motion in the spine. Exhale to coil. Inhaling, opening. And then from here on this next inhale, we're going to roll all the way through, drawing the heart forward, coming all the way down to the belly. And let's set up for Sphinx pose. So we want to draw our elbows directly beneath our shoulder joints. We want to set up strong Lego dude arms here, very right angle to them. So we want the elbows beneath the shoulders, forearms come directly out, press into your palms, and then press into all of your arm, right? Forearm to fingertips to create a buoyancy in your back. So from here, we lift the heart and look forward. This is classic Sphinx pose. Draw your navel in a little bit to remove any tension from your lower back. If you're experiencing like a crunchy feeling in your low back, just lengthen that part of the back by engaging the belly. We're just going to breathe right here. Every inhale, feeling a little more light through that heart center. Every exhale, just releasing that which does not serve. And then from here, make a pillow with your hands, rest your head, rock your hips from side to side, let it go. Return your fingertips to beneath your shoulders and press back. Tabletop or downward facing dog, yogi's choice. On your inhale, look forward. Exhale to step your right foot forward between your hands and then lower that left knee down to the mat if it's lifted. Walk your hands up your right knee. One thing I forgot last round, if you find asymmetrical lunge to be a little bit of a balance challenge, grab a block and put it right by your hip on the open side. That way you've got somewhere to touch down, okay? So let's keep working those sun breaths while we open the hips. Inhale. Exhaling. Inhaling, gathering energy. Exhaling, circulating it throughout the body. And both hands come down to the mat. Turn your left toes under to lift your back knee. Look forward and step together. And soften. Find some ease right here. Let it go. Rock from side to side if that would feel good. Turn your head from side to side. Relax your jaw. And then come to stillness at the center. Bend your knees. Exhale. Roll your way up. Inhale. Rise and open. Exhale. Hands come to heart center. So check in one last time with your mountain pose. Stabilizing. And then 3 sun breaths. Inhale. Exhale to fold forward. Bend your knees, plant your fingertips. Inhale, step your left foot back to lunge. Lower that left knee down to the mat. So we're going to walk our hands up that right knee again. Now, this time there are several options. Of course, the first one is if this is unstable, put a block by your hip. Now, we're going to be cultivating a little bit of a back bend here to help open up the heart. So there are a few approaches. So what I'd like you to do first, of course, is strengthen your core. So draw your navel in. Roll your shoulders back and down. Option one is just to inhale, lifting that breastbone, coming up and out of the lunge. Exhaling to soften. And this, of course, is more stable, right? The more limbs we begin to involve in a vinyasa, in a way of moving in yoga, the more unstable it becomes. So maybe we stay right here, just feeling that pulse opening up and exhaling. Maybe we add some crescent limbs, some crescent arms. So if we do that, we sweep our fingertips to the sky, interlacing everything but the index fingers, drawing the upper arms behind the ears. Engage your core again, inhaling. Finding crescent lunge, low lunge, exhaling, sinking a little bit. Inhaling, lifting that heart, staying strong through the belly. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, both hands come down to the mat. Find child's pose here, of course, because that crescent sequence is a little taxing. So for child's pose, you can either shift back, leaving the legs together, or you can open your knees and sink your hips down. Either way, take a moment to come back to your intention for your practice. Just softening into your child's pose. From here, let's roll our way all the way out onto our bellies, coming down for Sphinx pose. So once again, we're going to set up with our elbows directly beneath our shoulder joints, forearms radiating out from the elbows. Plant your palms, press into your forearms to feel all that buoyancy. Draw your navel in. So yogi's choice this time. You can stay down on the mat, focusing on shining that heart forward, keeping your belly strong. If you'd like to turn up the heat a little bit, turn your toes under. On your exhale, roll your way up, navel, quads, knees, forearm plank. Continue to shine your heart forward. And on your exhale, if you are in forearm plank, roll it back down. Everyone, make a pillow with your hands, rest your head, rock your hips from side to side, let it go. You can bend your knees if you'd like and do windshield wiper legs if that feels nice in your body. And then lower your toes down to the mat. If they are in motion, return your fingertips to beneath your shoulders and press back. Tabletop or downward facing dog, yogi's choice. On your inhale, look forward. Exhale to step your left foot forward between your hands. Lower your right knee down to the mat and walk your hands up that left knee. So crescent lunge options again, right? One, grab a block and bring it by your right hip if you'd like a little bit of support here. So second one, of course, is without the arms. So we start that by engaging the belly, tailbone stays long, shoulders roll back and down, and we feel this beautiful broad breastbone. Inhale to lift. Shining, and exhale, sink a little deeper into that left knee, stretching the right hip. Inhale. And of course, this is your more stable option. If you would like to add on from here, inhale, sweep your hands up, steepling the fingers, index fingers stay extended. Upper arms come behind the ears. Exhale, sink into that left knee. And then on your inhale, strengthen your core. Inhaling, lifting behind the heart. Exhaling, softening. And on this next exhale, both hands come down to the mat. Turn your right toes under to lift your back knee. Look forward. And step together and surrender. Let's take a full lunar pause right here. So really just let everything go. Let your neck be long, let the crown of your head dangle toward the earth. See if you can melt a little further with every exhale. And if movement would feel good, of course, rock, turn, wiggle, whatever you need. And then come back to center. Bend your knees. Exhale, roll your way up. Inhale, rise and open. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Release your hands down by your sides. And let's make our way down to the mat. We're going to do some breathing exercises here, or one specific one. And what I'd like you to do is find a comfortable seat while we do that. So the breath I'm going to teach you, some of you already know, it's the fire breath in yoga. It's sometimes called Kapalabhati. And it literally translates to shining skull breath. Lovely, isn't it? But it really does help you stay awake. One of my favorite life hacks is I tend to use this one when I'm getting fatigued, particularly if I'm driving late at night. I'll just crack a window and do Kapalabhati for a while and then, of course, be more awake. So this one can make you lightheaded. So as we're practicing, if that starts to happen, regardless of what I'm doing or saying, you go ahead and stop and breathe normally, okay? So let's start by bringing our hands to our bellies, because we use our belly muscles so strongly in this one. And what I'd like you to do is take a nice deep breath in, and then use your belly muscles to punch it out, to go through the nose. All right, let's feel that again. Inhale, big inhale, and exhale. So strong contraction through the belly. So when we begin to string those together quickly, what we find is that the inhale happens automatically because we force the breath out so dramatically. And what I'm going to do is turn sideways and show you my belly. Drop a leg, that way this is a little more visible. So hands come to the belly, and you can watch what they're doing here when we go into Kapalabhati. So when we begin to speed up, we go. So you can see that strong contraction, right? I'm really using my core muscles here. So let's go ahead and give this one a try. We're just going to do 20. And again, if you start to feel lightheaded, I'd like you to stop. That's one of the things that can happen with this breath. When I was in my yoga teacher training, I used to be able to do like 2 minutes of this at a go. That would probably render me unconscious at this point in time, but like 20 to 40 breaths is totally okay. So hands to your belly. Ready? Inhale. 20 breaths. And breathe normally. Roll your shoulders a little, turn your head from side to side. And we're going to do that one more time, just a round of 20 breaths, unless you've become lightheaded, in which case I'd like you to breathe normally. So bring your hands to your tummy, deep breath in, and we begin to punch it out. And relax, breathe normally. Now, notice what's different. So what I'm experiencing in my body is I feel like my circulation is moving a little better. I feel a little clearer. Now, the fun thing with Kapalabhati, with the fire breath, is that we can actually use it during the yoga flow. So many times when we're in a place where we're working with our core in particular, you can then add fire breaths. One of the more challenging things you can do is do them in plank. I'm not going to do that to you today. I absolutely promise. But we might come back to a little bit of Kapalabhati later in the flow. So all of those things being said, let's go ahead and move into some hamstring opening. So what I'd like you to do is make your way up to standing. And we're going to take a nice broad stance on the yoga mat. So let your feet be wide. I'm just going to adjust my camera real quick here so you'll be able to see me well. And we're going to bring our feet so that they are parallel. So toes are facing the same direction. On your inhale, sweep your fingertips to the sky. And let's just add a couple sun breaths here. Exhaling, hands through heart center. Inhaling, gathering up all that energy. Exhale, hands to the heart. One more time. This time on that exhale, we're going to follow that movement through, fingertips coming down to the mat. or to the earth, depending on where you're standing on your mat. Now let's start just by surrendering right here. So we're just going to relax your head and your neck. Well, some ways to make this more productive for hamstrings is to shift your weight into your heels and then tip your tailbone just a little more toward the sky. So that's a subtle movement, but it really can help with opening up the back of the leg. I'm just going to breathe right here. Let's begin to add a little bit of movement. So I'd like you to bend your right knee and walk your fingertips all the way over to your right side. Inhale, come back to center. Bend that left knee, walk your fingertips over to the left side. Again, inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. So we're going to follow flowing Skandasana here, opening from side to side. Now, as you flow, you might notice that it would feel good to change things, right? So if you want to widen your stance or narrow it, feel free to do so to begin to make this movement fit what your body needs to do today. Then we're going to come all the way back to center. Let's walk our hands all the way over to the right, and we're going to pivot both feet so that the right one is facing forward and the left one comes in for warrior one. So that back foot comes to about a 45-degree angle. On your inhale, roll your way all the way up to your warrior. And I'm just going to adjust my camera real quick, but go ahead and exhale to lower your hands down and take a moment to seat that warrior pose so that it feels a little bit more stable in your body, adjusting anything that needs to change. All right, so once we've found our warrior sequence, we're going to sweep those fingertips to the sky. And exhale, sweep them behind. Inhaling, open. And exhale. So remembering what we learned from crescent lunge earlier, let's interlace those fingers, finding Agni Mudra with the fingertips extended of the index fingers. Inhale, sweep those arms up and back and behind your ears. We're going to find crescent lunge right here in warrior one. And let's pulse a little bit. So we're going to sink into that right knee and then inhale, strengthen your core, lift from behind the heart. Exhale. So this is the pulse. You can keep your left foot down for warrior one foot position. You can also pivot on it so it's in tippy toes. That's less stable. And now we add the visualization. So we want to feel that energy coming up from the earth, lifting the heart, coming up behind the back. Exhaling, softening. Inhaling, rising energy. And exhale, really feeling those fires from the earth engaging. And on this exhale, both hands come down by your sides. Step your left foot in. Both feet are parallel now, and we're in the base for pyramid pose. So we're about a pace apart. Feet are parallel, so they're facing the same direction, and we're completely flat, right? So everybody is toe to heel. On your inhale, sweep your fingertips to the sky. Exhale, radiate your heart forward as you fold. Fingertips come down. Maybe they find that shin. Maybe they find the mat or your thigh. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhaling, softening. Inhaling, opening. And softening. And then bend your knees slightly as you roll your way all the way back up. And we're just going to turn, so we'll pivot both feet and then step wide on the mat. So from here, we're going to do the feet a little differently for this wide stance. Draw your heels in a touch. So your feet are at about a 45-degree angle. Hands come to your belly. Feeling that nice, strong belly on your inhale, lengthen. Exhale, sink into your knees. Inhale. And exhale. So option one is we just flow right here with high yoga squat, sinking into malasana and then rising. Your second option here is to add that fire breath if you'd like to. So I'm going to do a count of 20 on our inhale. Exhale. And breathe normally. And release, hands come by your sides. And let's find that same flow again, adding arms. Inhaling, sweeping up to the sky. Exhale, down through heart center. Inhale, gathering energy. Exhale. Okay, yogi's choice. Stay in this flow. Or on this exhale, come down to high malasana and sustain. Stay here or add fire breath. I'll do 20. And release. Straighten your legs because I'm sure they're screaming. Mine are. Exhale, hands to heart center. Excellent work. Release your hands down. So let's turn that left foot to face the short side of the mat. And we're going to turn that right foot so that we can set ourselves up for warrior one. So remembering that your right foot, the angle can be 45 degrees, maybe a little narrower, maybe a little more open. Just find the way that feels good in your body. And then sink into your left knee. Inhale, sweep your fingertips up. Exhaling, sweeping down and away. Inhale. All right, so let's begin to work toward crescent lunge. On your inhale, interlace on your way up. Index fingers stay extended. Upper arms come behind the ears. Bend your left knee. Good. Inhaling, lifting. And exhale. And then we begin to add on to this little pulse. So on this next inhale, strengthen your core, lift your heart, baby back bend right here. Exhale to soften. Inhale in core, then heart. Stay in your warrior footing or pivot on your right foot into a little less stable position onto your tippy toes. Inhaling up. And exhale. So lots of options, right? Today is a very yoga salad bar class. I want you to do the practice that feels right. We want to pair a visualization when we lift. It's energy coming up from the earth. Exhaling to sink. And release. Both hands come down. Step your right foot in. Feet are parallel here. We're setting up for pyramid pose. So that left foot is still forward, right foot is back. We've got both feet firmly planted and they're parallel. Inhale, sweep your hands to the sky. Exhale, let your heart lead you down. Pour over that left leg. And let's find that beautiful flowing breath. Inhaling, lengthening your spine, shining your heart. Exhale to soften, finding more space in the stretch. Again, inhaling, lengthening, letting the heart reach forward, and exhale. A few more times right here. And then from here, we're just going to soften the knees slightly and step together and fold. Let it go. Breathe. Rock from side to side if that would feel good. Come to stillness. On your inhale, halfway rise. So hands are going to come to the shins or the thighs again. Roll your shoulders back and down. Press your heart away. Now this time we're going to stay here for a few breaths, shining those collarbones, opening across the heart, giving our hamstrings a nice chance to open here, just breathing. Now, as you stretch, you may find you can walk your fingertips down a little bit, keeping the spine nice and straight. You can change the angle from the hips to deepen the stretch along the backs of the legs. And I just want you to go as much as feels appropriate for you. And release. Bow. Bend your knees. Roll your way all the way up to standing. Inhale, rise and open. And exhale, hands to heart center. Release your hands down by your sides, and let's make our way all the way down to the mat. So come on down to seated for me. All right, so twists are another way to really get energy moving in the body. So we're going to do a seated twist and then stretch our hamstrings a little more on our way through to the closing flow. So what I'd like you to do is draw your left heel in toward your body and plant your right foot out in front of you. So this is option A for seated twist. Option B is you can take that right foot and cross it over your left knee. Now, if you choose this path, I want you to make sure that you're not floating anywhere. So both feet are touching the ground, both hips are rooted. If you find that you've got like a glute floating off into space, then just bring that right foot back out in front of you. Reach behind you with your right hand. We're going to plant that hand, roll your right shoulder back and down, and press into the hand to create plenty of length along your spine. Reach your left arm to the sky. Now, the trick with twists in this space is to reach up and then find the twist. So we want to lengthen and then open into our twisting position. Your elbow can come to your knee or your hand to your knee. Begin to turn your heart toward the back of the room. So we've done a lot of visualization with breath. This space is no different. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhaling, softening into that twist. We're down on the earth. Maybe as you inhale, you visualize that energy coming up from below. Exhaling any fatigue, any points of challenge. And then sweep your hands back to center, all the way over to the left. Plant your fingertips and bow your head. Roll your way all the way back up. Let's switch it out. So we're going to draw that right heel in and plant the left foot out in front of us. So again, yogi's choice, either in front or bring it to the other side of the knee. Again, making sure that you are firmly planted wherever you happen to have landed. So from here, we're going to sweep that left hand down and back. Plant your hand, roll your shoulder back and down. Press into your palm to create that beautiful long spine. Inhale, reach your right hand to the sky. Exhale, turning to the left, elbow to knee or hand to knee. And begin to turn your heart toward the back of the room. And then find your breath pattern. Inhaling, lengthening. Exhaling, softening. Remembering maybe we're breathing energy up from the earth. And release. Sweep your hands over to the right. Bow your head. Hi, Lily. And then walk your way back up. All right, so let's do one more back body stretch. We're going to do a full forward fold. So what I'd like you to do is measure your legs out along the bottom of the mat. So we want to have plenty of space to fold forward and then to come back for Shavasana afterwards. So for me, I usually line up my heels. Once you found that space, draw your feet in by bending your knees. Hips stay where they are. Snuggle your belly down to your thighs, feel that point of connection, and then figure out where you can grab onto the lower part of your legs. So maybe you find your shins, maybe you find the bottoms of your feet, whatever is accessible to you. On your inhale, lengthen your spine, get nice and long. Exhale, walk your heels out a little bit until you feel your belly and thighs disconnect. Then snuggle back down again, find that point of connection. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhaling, scooting heels out, snuggling down. Inhale to lengthen. Exhaling, scooting out. And just keeping going with that particular pattern until you find your optimum forward fold. And in most bodies, that is with the knees slightly bent. What we want to feel is a stretch all the way along the backs of the legs and even into the lower back. Once you've found that point, radiate your heart forward, lengthen your spine, exhale to soften, and just surrender right here, just melt. And then nice and gently and gradually walk your hands back. We're going to roll all the way back and down onto our backs. Draw your knees in, roll down. And just rock from side to side. Massage your back on the earth. Sometimes drawing big circles with your knees can feel really nice here. Come to stillness at the center, and from here, drop your feet down to the mat just beneath your glutes. So we're setting up for a dynamic pelvic tilt or a low bridge pose. So what we're going to do first is that dynamic pelvic tilt. So what I'd like you to do is draw your navel in and press your lower back against the mat and consciously tip your pelvis, right? So that tailbone is sort of reaching up and over. And then release. Coiling it in. Inhaling to release. So if this feels awesome, if this dynamic pelvic tilt is releasing a lot of discomfort in your lower back, you stay right here. If you'd like to move into low bridge pose, come to a neutral spine. So we relax our belly and our pelvis and then draw that navel in just slightly. Relax your palms down to the mat. Palms are facing down. On your next inhale, press into your feet to lift your hips up off the mat. Exhaling to soften. Inhaling to lift. And exhaling to soften. And again, we're in this rising and falling space, so maybe we breathe up energy from the earth. Exhaling, integration. On your next exhale, roll your way all the way down, vertebra by vertebra. Everyone draw your knees into your chest and rock from side to side. Let it go. Come to stillness at the center. Open your arms out to either side. Make a nice big T on the mat. Drop your knees off to your right hand side and turn your head to look to the left. We're just going to soften right here. Try to let the earth hold you in this twist. And come back to center on your inhale. Exhale, drop your knees off to the left and turn your head to look to the right. And again, just trying to fully relax. And come all the way back to center, drawing the knees in. And now if there is any additional movement, any asana, anything at all you would like to feel, take a moment to honor that request within your body. So maybe it's another fold or an inversion or a twist, whatever would feel really nice. That's what goes right here. And then as you are ready, begin to make your way toward your Shavasana. So for corpse pose, we want to fully relax our bodies. So traditional corpse pose is done with the heels wide, palms facing the sky, shoulders relaxed. And in many bodies, and including mine, this causes some discomfort in the lower back. So a modification here, if that's happening to you, is to bend your knees, keeping the feet nice and wide. Let your knees fall together at the center, and just let the bones support you here. You can also take supine goddess pose, bringing the soles of the feet together and letting the hips open. You can take child's pose. And of course, seated meditation is also an option. What's important is that you find stillness here. So once you have found your optimum space for your rest and integration, take a moment to just soften all the places where your body is touching the earth. Imagining those points of connection melting a little bit. Relax your jaw. Relax your eyes and your forehead. And just let go and float. Allow your breath to create space within your body. And begin to find some little movements of your fingertips and your toes. Just coming back to this day, to this time. Point your toes away and reach your arms up overhead. Take a nice deep breath in, full body stretch. And then exhale, draw your knees into your chest and rock from side to side. Eventually finding your way all the way over to the posture of the sleeping child, just curling onto your right side. And take a moment right here in this space that you have created to breathe in some of that wonderful spring energy going on around us. Breathe in the sunlight. Breathe in the growing earth. Breathe in all of those gorgeous spring flowers. And then whenever you are ready and you feel complete, use your hands to help press yourself up to a nice, easy seated position. Bring your hands to heart center and close your eyes. We're going to close with a round of Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, a prayer for peace. Inhale. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me this morning. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. So let me go ahead and stop the recording.